The second point that you need to calculate here is 1015. Third point will be 2029. Fourth point will be 3050. Fifth point will be 4075, and so on till 90-200. Right? Now look at the graph. How to draw the graph? First of all, you need to see which on which axis you will have to take what. Now the cumulative frequencies need to be taken in the y-axis. Okay. So I have already, if you see, I have already drawn the axis. This is your y-axis. Okay. This is your x-axis. Okay. And in the y-axis, we are going to plot the cumulative frequencies. That is the number of students. Cumulative frequency is nothing but the number of students. So we'll write here number of students. This is what we are going to do in the plot in the y-axis. And in the x-axis, we are going to plot the lower class boundaries, right? So it starts from 0 and ends till 90. So, and what is the lower class boundary? This is nothing but the marks, right? So we'll write marks in the x-axis here. Marks. Right? Now, once we have the axis done, now we are going to decide on the scale. So what scale should I take? So if you see on the y-axis, because we are drawing the cumulative frequency, we see that cumulative frequency starts from 5. This is the lowest one, and the highest one is 200. So that means the cumulative frequency should start from 0 till 200. So what I have done is I have taken 1 division is equal to 1 unit. That means here, 1 division is equal to 0.5 units. 10 divisions are here. 10 divisions I have taken is equal to 20 students. Right? So 1 division here will be equal to 2 students, right? So we are going to write the scale. So along, this is the y-axis. Now let's see the x-axis first. We're going to write the x-axis. Here you see there are 10 divisions. And this is equal to how many marks we have taken? 10 marks, right? So 1 division must be equal to 1 mark. So we'll write here the scale. Along x-axis, 1 smallest division is equal to 1 mark. Along y-axis, 1 smallest division is equal to 2 students, right? Because we had taken 10 divisions is equal to 20 students, right? So therefore, I told you along the y-axis, the scale is 1 division is equal to 2 students, right? So we have decided on the scale in this way. Now, once we have decided on the scale, we have labeled the x-axis and the y-axis. Now we are going to plot the points. Now, if you see the first point here is 0, 5. So our first point here, we are going to plot 0 and 5. This is a small mistake that I have made in the cumulative frequencies, which is the first cumulative frequency will be for 0, we'll have a 0, not 5. So we're going to rewrite this once again. For the lower class boundary 0, the cumulative frequency will be 0. And for the next lower class boundary, we are going to take the cumulative frequency as 5, right? 5. And for the next one, morning. And for the next one, we are going to take as 10 plus 5, which is 15. Right? And similarly, for the next one, we are going to take 15 plus 14, which is 29. Right? And this we are going to carry on. So 29 you have, then you'll get 50, you'll get 75, then you'll get 109. Next, you're going to get 145, 172, 188. And finally, I think you have from 90 to 100 you have. So you're going to take this also. Okay, so you have your 100 here. Okay, for 100, you're going to get 200. So these are the points. So now your coordinates should be the points 0, 0, 10, 5, 20, 15, 30, 29, 40, 50, 50, 75, 60, 109. Next is your 70, 145, 80, 172, 90, 188, and you have 100, 200 are to be plotted on the graph. Okay, so remember the first one, lower class boundary was 0, so we have taken this as the first cumulative frequency we have taken as 0. Okay, always take the first cumulative frequency as 0. That is the rule. So when we are starting to plot, the first point here that we are getting is 0, 0, which is the origin. So we are going to have the first point here 0, 0. The next point that we have here is 10, 5. So we're going to plot 10, 5. You have 10 and 5. So this point should be your 10, 5. Right? Next point is 20, 15. You have 20 and here you have your 15. So this point is your 20, 15. Okay. Next point is 30, 29. So you have 30 and you have 29 here, just below 30. You have 30, 29. Next point is 40, 50. So you have 40 here and you move vertically above. So halfway between 40 and 60 will be your 50. 40 and 50. Next, 2015 I have plotted wrongly. 2015 should be 20 and 15 should be here. Above 10, halfway between, somewhere this should be here 15. This is 2015. Okay, and then you have 30, 29. 30, 29 also I have plotted wrongly. 30 and then you have 20. 29 should be somewhere over here. Right, so 30, 29. And 40, 50. 40, 50 is okay. Right, next point is after 40, 50 is 50, 75. So 50 and now you start moving vertically above 50. You have to reach 70. So this point is your 70. So 75 will be here. Right. So this is 50, 75. The next point is 60, 109. You have your 60 here, start moving above 60, vertically above 60, and you have 109 means this point, you have this as your 110. That means here will be your 109. 60, 109. Next point is 70, 145. So vertically above 70, you have 140 here. So 145 will be here. So this is 70, 145. Okay. The next point is 80, 172. Above 80, you start moving above 80 and this point is 80, 172. So 172, 170 is here. This is your 180. So 170 is here, midway between 160 and this is your 170. And you need to plot 172. So one division above 170 will be 172 because one division is 2 units, right? So this is 80, 172. Next is 90, 188. So you have 90 here, start moving above 90, 188. That means one division below 190. Which one is your 190? This is your 190. So one division below 190. This. So 90, 188. Right? And finally, you have 100, 200. 100 is, let's say, somewhere over here and start moving vertically above. So this is 200 here. Right? So somewhere over here will be 100, 200. Now we have got all the points. Now the question is what to do with the points. Now what you want to do with the points is, remember this is very, very important. Once you have plotted the points correctly, you need to join the points, right? And you don't need to join the points with the help of a scale. Okay, so I'm writing here, no scale. Okay, do not use any scale. Okay, do not use scale to join the points. Okay, remember
So
this,
why,
very,
sir?
very important
Why, sir?
because this is a freehand curve. Okay, this is a freehand ogive with a freehand curve. It is not a it is not a continuous curve. Like in straight line, you get a continuous curve. It is not a straight. It is not a continuous curve. So therefore, you don't need to join with the help of a scale. You need to join with the help of your freehand. Now the question is, even if you are joining with the help of freehand, what is the technique of joining these? See, when you are joining these points, okay, first, you need to just wave your hand just above each of the points, okay, so that you get an idea of the points. Now once you get the points, I am waving my hand on each of the points. Okay, now what I need to do is, now continuously without any break, I put my pencil on the origin and I join these points. Without stopping, I keep joining the points. Okay, and your curve must be a smooth one. Okay, when you are joining, do not go like this, right? It should be smooth. Okay, this kind of smooth. Okay, so try not to lift the pencil while joining the curve. Try to make in one stroke, try to make the curve. Okay, since I had to raise my pen because it was not on the screen, but since you will have your graph paper entirely with you, when you are joining the curve, join it with a continuous stroke. Do not lift the pencil. Okay, that is why I told you to make an idea of the point first. Okay, try joining, lift your pencil above the plane of the paper and try joining, uh, try imagine joining the point first, get an idea of the point, and then put your pencil and then start joining the points. Okay, take a rough idea where you are going to take your pencil through before joining. Okay, so once you get this type of curve is called an ogive. This curve is called an ogive. Okay, it is a curve. Okay, and once we get this ogive, now we are going to answer all the questions that are there with the help of this curve. So how do we answer? Let's see the first question. First question is, you need to find out the median. How do you find out the median? Now median in case of a frequency distribution is, first question, median is n by 2th observation. N is the total frequency. What is the total frequency above 200, right? We know the total frequency to be 200. So 200 by 2th observation, which is the 100th observation. Now, how do we get the 100 observation? Now look at the graph. In order to get the 100 observation on the y-axis, we try to locate 100. So this is your 100 here, right? Now what we do, once we locate 100 in the y-axis, with the help of a scale and a pencil, we, from this point, we join it with the curve here, right? We join it with the curve. Once we have joined it with the curve, this point of intersection of this straight line with the curve, now we drop a perpendicular on the x-axis, right? So once we have drawn this perpendicular on the x-axis, this point will give us our median, which is the 100th observation. Why 100th observation? Because the x-axis reading we are taking corresponding to this point 100. Okay. And what is the 100th observation in this case? How many divisions here? If you see, you have 58 divisions here, right? 58 divisions, isn't it? So above 50, and in what is the scale that we have taken? We have taken one division is equal to 1 unit in the x-axis. That means 50, you have 50 and you have 8 divisions. 8 into, you have one division as 1 unit, right? 1 mark. So 1 into 8 into 1. So you get 58. So median is your 58. Is the calculation of median clear to everyone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So once we have calculated the median, we'll now see how to calculate the upper quartile. Exactly the same as the median we are going to calculate, but we are going to use the formula for upper quartile. Upper quartile. Upper quartile is denoted by Q3, right? And upper quartile is 3n by 4th observation, right? This is the formula for upper quartile. So 3 into n is 200 divided by 4. This cancels. So you get 150th observation. Now, which one is the 150th observation? So in order to, just as in median, we located 100th observation in the median. Similarly, for upper quartile, we are going to locate 150th observation in the y-axis. So which one is the 150th observation? Here, this is the 150th observation, right? So from here, again, we are going to do the same with the help of a scale. We are going to draw a line till it intersects the curve. And from the point where it intersects the curve, we are going to draw a straight line on the y-axis, x-axis. Okay, this. This we are going to draw. Yes. So if you see, how many divisions are we getting? So above 70, we are getting how many divisions? Approximately, I think there are 2 divisions. So this is 70 plus, this is 70 plus, and you have 2 divisions, right? And 1 division is 1 unit. So 2 into 1. So this is 72. So our upper quartile is 72. Okay, just as in the case of median, we are doing here the same thing here. Fine. Next question is lower quartile. So upper quartile is done. Now we are going to see how to calculate the lower quartile. Lower quartile is denoted by Q1. It is n by 4th observation. N by 4th observation means 200 by 4th observation, which is 50th observation. How are we going to locate the 50th observation? Again, on the y-axis, we are going to locate 50. So which one is 50? Here. Here we have our 50, right? Okay. So once we have located 50, from this point 50, we are going to draw a line till it intersects the curve. And from this point, we are going to draw a perpendicular on the x-axis. So what point are we getting here? We are getting 40 here, right? So that means the lower quartile is 40, right? I hope there are no questions related to this. Next question is interquartile range. Interquartile range is, you know, the formula interquartile range is Q3 minus Q1, which is Q3 is 72, Q1 is 40. So you're getting 32 as your interquartile range. Question number 5. So we have calculated the lower quartile, we have calculated the interquartile range. Next, we have to calculate the semi-interquartile range. Semi-interquartile range is nothing but interquartile range divided by 2. Semi-interquartile range is Q3 minus Q1 divided by 2. And Q3 minus Q1 we have got above as 32 divided by 2. So this is 16. So that answers the 6th question also. So once you get the upper quartile and the lower quartile, you're obviously going to get the semi-interquartile range and semi-interquartile range very easily. Okay. But if the question is calculate the interquartile range, then that means they are not directly asking you for the upper quartile and the lower quartile. For interquartile range, you will definitely have to calculate the upper quartile and the lower quartile. Okay. So semi-interquartile range is also done. Now look at the 6th question. This is a little technical question. The question is number of students scoring above 65 marks. Now 65 marks if you see, we have plotted along the x-axis, right? So you need to find out the number of students who have scored above 65 marks. Okay. So because we have plotted marks in the x-axis, we are going to locate 65 in the x-axis. Which point is your 65? This point is your 65, right? So now because we want to find out the number of students, we are just going to do the converse of this. From 65, we are going to draw a straight line from the x-axis till it intersects the curve, right? And once it intersects the curve, because we want to find out the number of students, we are from this point where this straight line intersects the curve, we are going to draw a perpendicular on the y-axis, because we want to find out the number of students. So what is the number of students here? Number of students, one division in the y-axis was equal to 2 students, right? And I have 120 already here, and you have 2 divisions. So how much is this point? 120 plus 2 divisions into 2 students, right? Because 1 division is 1 student. That means 124. But what is this 124? 124 are those students who have scored below 65 marks, right? These are the students that have scored below 65. These 124 students have scored below 65 marks. Remember this. These students have scored below 65 marks. So you will say number of students who scored less than 65 marks is equal to how much we have calculated above? It is 124 from the graph. Hence, how many students scored above 65 marks? Total number of students minus number of students who have scored below 65 marks, right? Hence, number of students who scored above 65 marks will be equal to total number of students minus number of students who scored less than 65 marks. Total number of students was 200, and number of students who have scored less than 65 marks is 124. So how many students have scored above 65 marks? 76 students have scored. Okay. Last question. So we have finished this question also. Last question is, if 10 students qualify for merit scholarship, what do you mean by merit scholarship? Somebody who's students who are very good in a certain subjects or all the subjects, they are the meritorious students, right? They have 10 students have got scholarship from this. Find the minimum marks required to qualify. If 10 students have got merit scholarship, then what is the minimum marks that is required for scholarship? Now, because they are talking about students, and students we have plotted along the um, uh, students we have plotted along the y-axis, right? So therefore, if 10 students qualify for merit scholarship, how many did not qualify for merit scholarship? 190 students, right? So from which point is your 190? Let me write here first. Number of students who did not qualify for merit scholarship is equal to total number of students minus 10, because 10 students qualified. So 190 students did not qualify. Now, because 190 students did not qualify, you are going to locate 190 in the y-axis, because we are talking about the number of students. This point is your 190, right? Now from 190, you are going to draw a straight line intersecting the graph, because you need to find out the marks, right? So therefore, from the point where this straight line intersects the graph, you're going to drop a perpendicular on the x-axis. Okay. So if I drop a perpendicular, you see this is the marks. How much marks is this? This is 86 marks, right? 86 marks. So those 10 students, those 190 students have scored below 86 marks, right? So number of students, 190 students, let me write here, because we have drawn not perpendicular from 190, 190 students scored below 86 marks, right? So therefore 10 students scored above 86 marks. Now, because these 10 students have won the merit scholarship, therefore, what is the minimum marks required for merit scholarship? Hence, minimum marks required to qualify for merit scholarship is equal to total marks was 100. Sorry, total. Sorry, this is because they have scored above 86 marks. So obviously they have to score 86 below above 86 marks to get the merit scholarship. Okay. Any question?